the King Island weather for this King Island race. Looking quite interesting. We've got our 22 boats, and so it's looking like a lot of fun for the fleet. If we just go and have a look at the weather and look at the satellite picture, the difference since my last weather is this band of cloud that is going to move in over the race course. So you see that band of cloud is going to be in the race course. So I think it's going to be too high to have too much effect, but there will be some clouds that if you're a sailor, if you're on the right side of the cloud, it's going to help you in getting away from boats that are nearby you. So those guys, you need to keep watching that sort of weather there. If we go to our synoptic situation, and we can see again we're still in a broad high pressure system at the start time. That little high that's developing here off to the east is not going to affect us. And so if we just watch the progression over Saturday, it's still moving quite quickly. So you can see this little low that they're forecasting here, and if we go to Sunday, you can see it's not going to affect us, and this is that little front that's going to pass through Sunday morning. So again, looking to go home during Sunday. The isobars are opening up, so it's going to be a moderate westerly, and so a really nice trip home. So if we go and have a look, for those of you who don't know, but this is the 500 millibar chart, and these little areas here show us the wind. And so if we look in at start time on Friday, this is a 40 knot region here, so we should have in the half of that, so 20 knots, but it's looking like it should be less than that. And if we just play along, we can see the stream still going, it's still showing us got some wind here, but the system's going to move through. This is blocking slightly, but it shouldn't affect the race course, and so you can see that things are going to move along. Alright, if we come to predict wind, and we're just going to show you the European model. And the interesting thing is, if you look at the tracks are all pretty much uniform. And so we will just go and play this model now, and you can see how the boats will be coming down. So if we sort of scroll into this, you can see in broad easterly flow. This model saying it's east, sometimes a bit northeast, sometimes southeast, which is the change. So the boats, and as the boats come down here, you can see the wind is filling in, and the wind's getting a bit sort of 10-12 knots. So all pretty good and comfortable for the boats. The interesting thing here is you can see the east-west separation suggested by the two models. So if you're closer to the coast, you'll be more tight to the wind, and the further off the coast you are, the more free you'll be to the wind. So with light wind, you'd really want to be in that sort of area. So if we go now and have a look at Metai, and by the way, with Predict Wind, the models are all coming in for a 40-footer to be finishing around Saturday evening, 7, 8 o'clock at night. Alright, if we have a look at Predict Wind, and you have a look at Predict Wind, and one of the things we can do is look at a particular area, and we can go to the detail, and we'll just go to the detail here, and we can see Friday night at 11 PM it's got 8 knots of southeast. And if we go to Saturday, you can see 8, 7, 5 knots of southeasterly breeze close to the head. So with that sort of wind, if the boats point up a bit, we should get away through the start, so that shouldn't be a problem. And if we look around Saturday and move that down the course, you can see it's a bit more southeast rather than east than it was the other day. And as we go through the day, you can see there's little increases of wind that come through, and they back away and then come through again. And the good thing you can see as we get down to the island is the wind does start to pick up, and so you can see quite good strong easterly wind off the island there. And looking as it goes later in the day, the wind is going to stay quite strong, so it's going to be hard for the bigger boats to keep the little boats at bay. So the big boats are going to have to sail on the metal, and it's a really good opportunity for one of those little boats who sail well to get home. If we look at Sunday, we can see that on Sunday it's gone to northeast early, and if we look later on Sunday, we can see it's sort of northerly, and by 11 o'clock it's got some west in it. and if we wait a little bit, moving along up the coast, we can see that westerly comes through, but there's nothing, only in 20-25 knots, so nothing major, and then it starts to go southwesterly later on during the day. So it should make a really great trip home. So all 22 boats with 163 crew. I hope you enjoy the race and have a great time, and we'll see you down in King Island for a beer. Good luck.